Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I'll draw a little scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's go right into this. If I sound a little different right now, that's because I have a cold. Just letting you know so you're not wondering. Okay, let me first set up my scene, do a little planning beforehand. Maybe there's something in the foreground like that. There's a mountain in the distance. And then right here we've got a little something like that. A little bit of this right here. Mountains in the very distance down there. Okay. Now let's go into the sky. Just using the HB pencil, I'm giving it a light to medium value. A little darker at the top and lighter towards the horizon. It's not very light above the horizon today, so I'll have to go darker as I go up now. Made it a little dark down here right now, but that's okay. I can change that by just making the upper area even darker. Hey there, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. I'm just starting this scene right here with my little sky. Let's go even darker up here. Maybe like so. Just a tad bit. Okay. I think that does it. Now, as always, I grab the smudging tool and make the sky as smooth as possible. Just going in there, back and forth, getting rid of the line structure in the sky. And there we go. Don't want to spend too much time on that since I think what I have planned is going to take a little while. So I just quickly put in some clouds. And I want them to go out here in sort of a ray shape from this little plateau right here, all up into the sky above us. Right there. Going up, up, up. And maybe that's all the clouds we've got in this scene today. Quickly picking up the eraser. Okay, I've got a line over here though that I want to make more round, and this one over here as well. Okay, now going back to the pencil, I want to add some shadows to those clouds. Sunlight is going to come from the right. So we've got our shadows at the bottom left of the clouds. Okay. All of the shadows down here. Maybe a couple over here. Just rather flat lines all the way at the lower edge of the clouds. Maybe right here I've got to go more to the middle, since the right edge is going to be in the sunlight. Maybe more like that. Okay, I'm leaving the left area as well, since that's where the side shapes of the shadows are going to be. So right now I'm only covering the lower areas of the clouds. Alright, that's that. Now I'll go to the side. The left side is going to get some shadows right here, up there, and everywhere. Maybe I'll go a little more into this volume right here. Maybe a little more to the right, and then right here to the left. Give it some more shadows. Like so. Up here, this volume popping out gets a shadow as well. And there are some shadows right here. And of course all the way over here to this entire left area of all those clouds. Up there. In here and over here. Okay, let's fluff them up a little bit. And I'm just pulling the graphite to the right area. Creating a transition. Getting the lines a little bit smoother. To really fluff those clouds up. Okay. Now we go into the very distance. We've got those mountains back here. Let me erase those shapes. Maybe right there, okay. So that we can have a contrast between the dark and the light area. Maybe like so. Those are the shadows in here. And then we're just gonna have some details. Just a couple of lines back there. Okay. Next thing is going to be a couple of hills right here. Maybe like this. And then let's have a little bit of detail in there. Maybe some rocky areas that are a little darker. Oh, this could be a river also. Okay, something in here. Something like that. Just like so. And what I want to have back there are a couple of trees. And they appear not as tall, but almost as tall as those mountains, since there's a lot of distance already between the trees and the mountains. Okay, now I want to make those evergreens, and I want them to be quite tall. Normally, those evergreens that I draw look like they're maybe 3 or 4 meters high. Those are supposed to be 30 meters. And I do that by changing the ratio between the length and the diameter that is at the base. So those right here are very slim, so that they look very tall. Hi there, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by. Okay, next one right here. And I got to blow my nose very quick. I was saying in the beginning that I've got a cold right now, so I've got to deal with that. And you've got to deal with me sounding different. But I don't think that's too much of a problem for you. I hope it's not too big of a problem that I might have to pause every once in a while. But I'll try to keep it at a minimum. Okay. Alright, all those trees back there. Maybe a little smaller one right here. And let's have a couple more right here to the left. I wanted this to look like a very loose forest. Right now, the density of the trees is not nearly dense enough for this to be a forest. So let's have a couple more back here. So the forest gets thicker to the left. That's a very tilted tree right there. But maybe that's just going to make it look more natural. Okay. Maybe the last one right here. And now we've got a little bit of a forest going on, going to the left. Okay, working my way from the background to the foreground. The next area is this one right here, and that is a mountain in the distance. And since the left side is the shadow side, I just make this rather dark already with the HB pencil. And then all I'm going to do is add some details with the 3B pencil. So this very steep slope right here is darker than the rest, since the inclination is even further away from the sun than for the rest of the mountain. And then maybe we've just got a couple of cracks going down the face right there, and then something a little bit, couple of things right there. And that's how quickly we can draw this side of the mountain right there. Now we can already see a couple of details in here, and I want this to be a rather rocky area right there. So I'm indicating some surfaces. Maybe there's another piece of stone right here. So this is darker than the ground. Maybe the upper area is brighter than the ground. Okay, got this right here, and maybe right here where we've got an inclination to the right side. The rock is very bright, and then the inclination goes more to the left. This area is again inclined to the right, so it's brighter. And then we've got this area over here, facing more towards us, more away from the sun. So that's darker as well. Let's get some details up in here, just some cracks, maybe something right there. Something going on in here. Okay. Now we need there to be a ground, and we have to set it apart from this very background back there. So I'll have a couple of changes in elevation here. By just having some curved lines, very slightly curved lines, I'll make them more pronounced with the 3B pencil. Also make the ridge up here, the separation between the midground and the background, a little more dark and pronounced, like so. Okay, and we've got this line right here, a little bit of a change in inclination. This area right there, right here, down there, and then just a little bit more going on right there. Okay. Now we go to the foreground, and what I want to have here is a couple of rocks protruding from a grassy surface. So I'll have just the outline of some rocks back here, over there. Something's poking out right here. Maybe like so. This one a little larger over here. Something poking up like this. Something right there. Another rock right here and one down there. Okay. Gotta get rid of this part of the mountain to the right and of the value of the sky in this shape. Okay. And then what I want to do is get a couple of lines in those mountains, in those boulders right here, to already set up a structure and set up areas where it's going to be darker or lighter. Maybe something like this right here, something like there. Got something facing away from the sun right here. This area and this area down there. Those as well. And this right here. And this area also is pointing away from the sunlight with a bright top plateau. Maybe something right here as well. This one is darker as well. Okay. Get some darkness in here and in here and also in here. Because of course, oh, I went a little too far right there. I want the areas that point to the very right to be the brightest. And then we've got our mid values right here, here, here. All the sides that face towards us have the rock mid values, and then those very left areas right there have the shadow areas, the shadow values. And I'm going to set those up with the 3B pencil. Going darker to the left, darker at the lower edge. Maybe a couple of cracks, a couple of lines. Okay, this left area is a shadow area. Shadow area right here. Shadow area right there. Right here. Down there. And up here. Okay. Now let's get some more structure in there. So in the mid values, I put structure in with the 3B pencil, creating some shadowy lines, some cracks. something right there. Up there, maybe like so, a little bit in here. Okay, and then something over there. All right, and for the very shadow sides right here, I'll use the 7B pencil to just get a couple more shadows in here. Maybe like so. Okay. The next thing I need right here is the grassy surface. So I'm going to make some arcs right here. Couple of darker areas. Couple of lighter areas. Something in here. Something up there. Alright, I need this left area to just generally be a little darker than the right area. Let me get that done by just going across like so and making the lines wider as I go to the right. And go in here a little bit more. And up here on the plateau it's rather bright. Now let's go in here at the very left edge with the 3B pencil. Get more of a separation right there. Get those elevations right here a little darker. This one right there. Okay, I think I do need a little bit more of a value in here. This is way too bright, but I can just adjust that by going in there with the HB pencil. And there we've got our darker area. Now let me create some cast shadows from those boulders right here. Below the edge, right there, like so. Okay, I want a little bit more detail down here. Some more stuff going on. Just following a couple of lines I see that I made earlier. Go all the way down there. Maybe extend this entire area a little bit, so I have a little bit more to work with later when I cut away the edges. So, right there, down there, and maybe that's it for this step. Then I said I want this to be a grassy area. So I'm going to draw in some blades of grass all the way at the ridge up here. Give me another second though. Okay. Connect the grass to the ground. Maybe some taller blades up here. Okay. And something going inside here. Over there. Well, those are the finishing touches. But this can really take quite some time, as you know, depending on how many lines of grass you want to put in there. I'm using those darker lines that are made as orientation. That's where the ground is sort of protruding, and therefore we can see the grass on top there, sticking out above other levels. Let's go down here. Going all the way to the edge of the frame. Now we've got a little bit more over here. Maybe this comes in from all the way over here. Something up here. And let's go a little bit more down here at the bottom left. Let's make this one really lush and overgrown. Put in many lines right here. Or generally, when you draw blades of grass, don't just put one line next to each other. Make them overlap, make them go a little bit tilted towards the left or the right, so that you cover the entire area. If you look at the grass in nature, you don't see the blades of grass standing next to each other. There are layers to it. Some stand in front of others, even just on a protruding part of the ground, like here. Have some stand out, sure, but mostly cover the entire area. Okay, let's have this one go up to this point. And slowly but surely my pencil is getting dull. I have to turn it to find sharp points on the tip of the lead. But I just want this one line, and then I'll call it done, so it's not going to be too big of an issue. Right here. Want it to go all the way down there though. All the way. I should have many more layers of this grass. This looks a little empty still. Let's see, I'm going to put in a couple more. Just to fill the area up a little bit. A little something over here. I think that does a lot to fill this area. Okay, maybe that's it for today. All right, cleaning up the edges. Okay, let's see what I have to take away here. I think that does it. It leaves those two lines of the frame, but I don't mind it. So I'll just leave them in. Okay. Let me knock off all this residue. Okay, let me knock off all this residue. All right. Thanks for being here. I hope you got something out of it. Some motivation, some inspiration. Maybe you just did something on the side. If you find yourself coming back to the channel, please consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video, and drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think about my motifs, about my techniques, about the way I talk. Any criticism is welcome. So, with all this said, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.